Hello everyone, it's day 29 and today is about recovery and strength. That's going to be our theme for today. And this little one has decided that he's just going to talk away while I'm broadcasting, so I thought I'd bring him up to the camera so you could see him. He has decided it's time to go out and explore, and he's very, very vocal, so we'll see what happens while we're doing Tai Chi today. Okay. Hello Charlotte, good to see you. I just got Hunter in my arms. He's been protesting today. All right, so let me get to the topic at hand. We'll see if I need to send this little one out. But for now, hopefully that keeps him a little quieter. Okay, hello Jeanette. All right, so today what I'm looking at is the layers of Tai Chi and how we've talked about the layers while we're moving through Tai Chi, but now I'm going to talk about how the layers go with everything that we're doing in order for you to build a toolbox. So you have a flow that, well, where should I start and where should I go? And let's see what we can do with that. I may pull in a few other techniques that aren't necessarily Tai Chi because I do have a lot of tools in the toolbox. And let's see kind of where we end up exploring. So while we're waiting for everybody else to get here, how about if we go with the second half of Tai Chi, and then tomorrow I'll switch up what we use for our flow, but let's do that second part, and I'll do it seated, and then I'll do it standing. So we've got those two options in there, and that'll get us going. And then hopefully anybody else that's coming on will be able to do that. And see, you've got more of my roof than my floor, so we'll just move that down. All right, it's been a really exciting day. Playing with my puppet first, the broadcast cut out for the end. So anyway, some of it got recorded. And then my Chi integration class, we've been doing some brain formatting. We were working on the spinal cord today. And there's a meditation I created a couple weeks back, which I will get up on my dance debut page. Sorry, I have hunter cat hair in my mouth. Anyway, I will get that posted up so that you have access to that meditation, and it walks through each of the vertebrae in the thoracic section, T1 to T12, and all the emotions, and then it allows you to release each of the emotions on the vertebra. You could do it in conjunction with some Tai Chi moves. I did it just as a meditation, but it was very powerful today. And then we did some spinal cord reformatting after that, which was really exciting. And then the last part is a shout out to my friend in Ireland, who is now home from the hospital and managed to beat COVID-19. An incredible story he has to tell, and he was sharing some of those stories with me. But this is one nasty, nasty virus, and it eats everything, including the way the brain functions. And so if you're wondering if you should go out yet, maybe you should do, something a little different, be as careful as you possibly can, because his story is a tough story, but we have to really, really applaud the medical community because they are going above and beyond in ways we can't even imagine for these people who end up in intensive care and on the ventilators. And we don't see the struggles of the medical community in those situations, particularly if they have to make decisions. So just to keep them in your heart, because it's a tough one. Here in Mabu, we have red bows that are on all the trees. And if you go down Main Street, Mabu, it's just a sea of bows and all the trees and posts. It's amazing. It goes out into the countryside as well. We can't do the chant that some people are doing in townships. So we're actually doing it by bows. So there's also hearts and teddy bears and all kinds of other things that are being broadcast for the medical community. So, okay, I see I've got more followers on there. Glad I talked a little bit longer. Anyway, let's get started. We're going to do the second half of Tai Chi just to get our flow of energy happening, and then we'll dive into the material. Okay, let's put the bow on. So you're going to grab, ladies grab the left thumb, gentlemen grab the right. And we'll just take that forward and bring that back and sink. And then a nice big breath. Let's just do one commencement, which isn't actually there, but let's put it there. And then just let everything settle. And let your hands connect down to your knees, down to your feet. Feel the grounding and the centering that happens with that. Okay, and then we're going to cross the arms, and we're going to do carry tiger to the mountain. So we're going to expand out, and then we have a brush knee right. Bow and arrow is going to come back. Palm to palm is going forward. Open the hands, and then you've got two hands going forward. And then this is going to come out from a whip to one side, going across. You remember, that's taking a thread from the golden pill. Okay, and when we get to there, we're going to come back, and this is going to be parting horse's mane. And last week we worked on the figure eight pattern that comes from this. So you've got expansion and contraction coming all the way through. This is 4. And here's number 5. And then we've got left grass bird's tail. And then grass bird's tail. Bow and arrow back. Palm to palm. Open the hands. Two hands are out. This is going to come around, whip to one side, and reach out. Fair Lady Shuttle. So that right hand is a lotus flower, comes up the center. Left hand is going to go out. Goes back to the right hip, over to the left, out with the right. Comes back to cross, take it out, and then comes back, crossing it over and out. Then we have left grass bird's tail, into grass bird's tail. And I'm just using fingertips at the wrist today, which is calming emotion. And you know that you could put the fingertips into the center of the hand. You should be working on calming the mind. Here comes our whip to one side, pulling that golden thread. Move hands like clouds. So we've got to the right. So this is coming up nice and strong. Here's number 6. And then number 7. Comes back, whip to one side. Snake. So we've got up, nice and long, sink. Standing on the left, standing on the right. Ward off monkey. Up nice and tall, and sink. Open, comes around. Step up to raise hands, right down the spine, lengthen. And we're going to bring that forward, up to the top, comes around. Brush needle. Push needle to sea bottom. And penetrates back. Fork, parry, and punch. Hold the ball. Grass bird's tail. Bow and arrow back. Palm to palm forward. Open the hands. 2 hands forward. Comes back. Whip to one side. And then we have move hands like clouds. Lifting up nice and tall. We've got 3. I'm hoping everybody's starting to feel a lot more comfortable with the third section here, the second half. Comes out. High pattern horse. Lift. That's that moment of pause. We'll turn. That's going to be the kick. Hold the flowers. Wipe the sleeve. And out. Grasp its tail. This time we're going to put it into the center of the palm. Let's give that one a little bit. Some of those thoughts running through my head, we'll just get rid of them. No grocery lists required. Here we go. Whip to one side. And then we have the snake. So this is up, sink. Hand comes up. This is step up to 7 stars. And then we have turn to sweep the lotus all the way around and out. Hold the flowers. In, out. Wiping the sleeve, 2 hands. And the last appear to close the entrance, sink. That went kind of quick. We must be making progress. Okay, so that gets us our seated version of the second half of Tai Chi. And I wanted to do the standing version because then we're going to play. All right, so that way everybody's on the same page depending on what you know or don't know. It's a little bit different for everybody that's here. Okay, right on. Okay, perfect. Hello, Yvonne, Doug, I see you there. Alina, good to have you back. Hey, those are the names that are popping up at the moment. So glad to see you there. Okay, carry tiger to the mountain. So this is the start of part 3. We call it part 3, but it's the second half of Tai Chi. Here we go. So sink back and open the spine. Turn the left toe. Sink back and open the spine a little bit further. Step with the right foot. Brush knee. Bow and arrow back. Palm to palm. Open the hands. And 2 hands go out. Sinks back. This is going to come out, whip out horizontal. I think I turned my foot just a little too far. I wasn't quite sure which direction I was facing. Okay, so parting horse's mane. Here's our figure 8 pattern. Sink down into that right leg, take the weight. Step with the left. Sink down into the left foot, take the weight. Step into the right. Sink. Step left. I'm going to run out of room, so I'm just going to back up. Step right. Hold the ball. Left, grasp bird's tail. Hold the ball. And again, I'm just going to try to keep it in the U here. Grasp bird's tail. Palm to palm. Sink. And I hope I'm making a diagonal line, nice and long. Sinking back. Whip to one side. Fair lady shuttle. Okay, so this is left toe turns, right toe turns, step into the front right corner, left hand up. Sink back onto your right leg, turn your left toe, step with your right foot, to the left corner, reach out. I'm just going to move down so you can see my feet a little bit better. Step to the left, sink back into the right, turn the left toe, sink into the left, place your toe to the back, right corner, and reach up. Left grass bird's tail, and then grass bird's tail. And again, I'm just going to try to stay within your view. Coming back, palm to palm. Open. Just noticing my stomach is a lot more relaxed this afternoon, which is fantastic. Here it comes through. So now we have move hands like clouds 7 times. And sink. Over. Sink. Over. Sink. Okay, there's 7 of them. But I see that I'm going to run into the chairs here. So I'm going to call this number 7. Reach out, comes back around, whip to one side, and reach out. Sometimes we have to adjust. Snake. So you're going to open your right toe, left heel, sink down on the right leg, and then you're going to come up, stand on the left, drop the back, open the spine, step back, drop the back, open the spine, and then step. Ward off monkey, sink, open that back. Let it relax, sink. Open, sink. Open, and then that's going to come through and reach out. Step up to raise hands, right heel is up, just come back a bit for you. Into white stork. Let that go. Brush knee. Push the needle to C bottom. So, right leg stays straight. You can move the water from the left side to the right. Turn, sink back into your right foot. Sink over to your left foot. Chop, snake puts out his tongue. Let that go. Hold the flowers. Step through, deflect, parry, and punch. Twist step, hold the ball. Grass bird's tail. And this again, I'm putting it into the palm this time. Calming the mind. Whip to one side. Move hands like clouds. We have 3. What I'm going to do is move backwards. And then hopefully you'll be able to see my feet better. There's number 2, 3. This comes across, whip to one side, and reach. High pat on horse, you sink into your right and comes up. Sink into your right and reach out. Turn, heel kick. Hold the flowers. In, out. Chop. Hold the ball. Grass bird's tail into the palm. Palm to palm. Very interesting. The stomach's just a gurgling away. We did a lot of shifting this morning in my Chi integration class. Beautiful. Okay, snake. Open the right foot, open the left heel, sink. This comes up to 7 stars. Lengthen down the spine. Stepping back into the back left corner, left hand. Got some adjustments in the knees, around And then we step 1, 2, spin, and 20. Hold the flowers. In, out, wipe the sleeve. Open the spine. 2 hands. Comes around. Turn, turn. Sink. Crossing over. And then let that go. And sink. Connect to the floor. Connect everything in there. All right, let's put a bow on the end. We've done our flow section. We've got some gratitude to bring in. And I know some gratitude is there. My friend in Ireland chatted about how he was remembering exercises I had taught him when he visited us here, and how he was doing Tai Chi in bed, trying to get the energy to flow and trying to gain some strength. And so it was delightful to hear how he could add something as simple as this in at the bed as I talk about, but being able to put it in there. Okay, so let's have a conversation and do some work. So you have friends or family members who need some help, and you need to know how to be able to layer the exercises to bring people through to the place where they could do 108 moves. So how do you layer that information, right? So let's go through some of the things that we know that would be very, very simple. So the first thing that I like to do is hands turning. And if they can't do a flow of movement before, because you've got to keep it very simple, you can do this lying in bed. You can do this sitting in a chair, recliner if that's what it has to be. If you can't get them to sit up straight, at least you could get them to there. And you know that even when you're turning your hands, you're making a change. Hands can be feet, hands can be head, hands could be shoulders, hands could be hips. Depends where you want to put your intention. So I'm just bringing you that thought. So some of the drugs that they're using for COVID-19 to help protect from infections in the lungs is it attacks the muscles and tendons and ligaments in the body, and is so powerful it's actually shutting down that tissue, trying to save everything. So if you have trouble with Achilles tendon, that tends to be one problem, then how would you address it? You could use your hands. And just by adding this little exercise, you could change the way the Achilles tendon is going to be working. Free flow coming right through. Okay, so let's take the hands down, and let's think about the shoulders as being the hips, elbows as being the knees. You could be standing, do this as well, but maybe you'll be in bed. Maybe you're sharing it with somebody in bed. So now you're going to turn all the way through, so the tissue's going right from the hip joint or shoulder joint all the way to the fingertips or the ends of the toes. And that means you have whole body movement connecting everything up. Okay, so it's a different way to think about how can I help that Achilles tendon. So if I can't walk on my feet yet because everything's too tight, this might be one way to get there. And after you finish that, you could bring it back up. Hopefully you're feeling everything is just tingling now. It's vibrant, awake, it's alive, it's flowing. Okay, so that's one way that you could do that. All right, so now what's another way that we know? So let's look at what we talked about for the hips and how we could use the hands. So when the hands are flat or up, how that changes the way the hip position is. So you remember we did palms down, noticing how the pelvis was sitting. And then when you went to turn the palms up, noticing how the pelvis shifted. So for me, it goes towards the tailbone, and it pulls right down the lower part of the spine, and then it releases. So I could go taller if I wanted to. And then when I turn the palms over again, it pulls that pelvis back a little bit, and then forward. Okay, so let's say you've been in bed and haven't been able to get up very much. Your back is going to be tight, could be sore. been doing a lot of coughing, could be really sore. So this, and just letting the hips be completely relaxed, you could change the tissue in the lower back just with this little piece here. Okay? But we know a little bit more from low cup, don't we? So if we take our hands flat, roll the hands, turn the hands over, and your fist is not a closed fist. You're holding a butterfly in your hands. You don't want to squish it. You're going to pull the elbows back behind you. Okay, so you have flat, drop, roll, pull. Okay, so now let's think about this in terms of, because we were doing it in terms of the hip, but let's think about it in terms of the foot, the ankle, and the Achilles tendon, also into the calf muscles, soleus. Okay, there's a lot of stuff that goes on here which is part of circulation and triple warmer. Triple warmer being your 3 burners, and the lower leg muscles can get very tight if circulation and triple warmer are not happy. So I know that one very well. So this is a good place for us to substitute. So here's our hands. Imagine this is your foot, okay? So your feet are going to roll, that's your ankle, and roll. So you can get right into the muscles, the ligaments, and the tendons all the way around the ankle if you set your intention there and let it go. So if your feet are just really lightly connected to the floor, you can change this. And if you're lying in bed, the feet are just like stretched out, they're going to be free to be able to flow with that little move. Okay, so that would be another way that you could play. All right, so now we have, let me think here. We've done the foundation, we did the hands turning here, we've changed the tissue here. We could do our foot exercise, and again, this is what's considered set A on the YouTube videos for Tai Chi Wellness in the Seated Form series. And Yvonne recorded a set B and a set C. So if you're looking for another set of foot exercises you wanted to add into your repertoire, you could do that. One of these days, I'll get a chance to go back there and do that. Then I can share it too. Okay. So if you remember, that little toe tap has that little pump down in the heel, and that is changing the way the blood and the lymph is flowing through. Now, if your Achilles tendon was really tight and it was really tight on your lower leg, you might want to slow down the movement and just be very, very gentle. And if that's too much, because it's too tight, you can do it with your hands. And you might not feel like you're doing too much, but again, you set your intention, and all of a sudden you can notice the tissue may let go. Okay? But let's go to our other exercises. So we have one side, the other side. In bed, it's fairly easy because you don't have your feet down. They're actually out. And you just, right? Windshield wipers. Okay? This is great to share with someone if you go for a visit too and they're infirmed. You're not really sure what you could do with them. You're chatting away. This is a great exercise to be able to just throw in there and have them do in their chair, in the bed, whatever. Or you go for a little walk and they need to take a rest. They can sit down and you can just do this for energy. And if you talk about it as energy building, then if they were tired, they might notice they're not so much anymore. Okay, so out and in. Okay, bring that back to straight, and then the heels are going to go. Okay, so you know that this can work in the hip, this can also work in the shoulder, it can work into the jaw, maybe there's some jaw clenching, jaw clenching that's going on. You could substitute in wherever you need it to go, okay? And then we have the crawl. And this one, they might not be able to move very far, but the important point is the pointed toe and stretching that toe. They can lift up high if they want, but if they don't have the energy for that, just stretching the toe is important. So again, it's just taking down the expectations, and there is no disappointment, and there's no not good enough. All of it is wherever you are, because all it means is just open the energy up. It doesn't have to be measured or judged. It's just, how do I get the energy to flow so everything is working as I need it? Okay, so it's coming down. Okay, so let's change that over to the heel going out. And we talked about how that opens up the fluid running through the legs and also the water channel, trying to get everything cleaned out, get those toxins out. So this one is a really nice one. Again, it doesn't have to go up, just push the foot. If you lift, great. If you don't, that's okay. Whatever works. Okay, so then we have ball of the foot. I just turned my foot so you can see ball of the foot, heel drop. And if you remember, that is about activating K1, the end of the kidney meridian, and it activates all the other organ systems. So ball of the foot, heel drop can help energize the whole system and bring it back up. So if you're feeling really draggy, this can be a nice little exercise. Very simple. You could do it with your hand, because you could do heel of, kind of, what do you call that part? End of the fingers, I guess, the ball of the hand. And then you could do ball of the hand and then the heel of the hand dropping down. So if somebody couldn't do their feet, they could do that instead. And if you think about this point being the same as the kidney point on the bottom of the foot, you could be activating there too. Okay, again, it's just thinking about how can we get at this a different way? How can we give different tools for whatever people need, for whatever they're trying to cope with? Okay, and then the last is Fred Flintstone run, feet are flat on the floor, and that just gets that energy flowing all the way up and through, and can be very helpful. And you can do the same with your hands. So if they couldn't do their feet, you could do it with the hands. One of the techniques I learned from Svetlana Maskatova in her techniques is 1, 2, cha-cha-cha is a very soothing pattern for people. Sometimes it's too much to put on their body, but you can put on the side of the bed. 1, 2, cha-cha-cha, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And you can put it on the body, very gentle, and it's an innate rhythm the body recognizes, and it calms. So you can bring that in. If you need to calm the mind, you could sing it. Give it some words. So if you have someone in bed, not feeling all that well, you could touch them, but chances are they may not want that. So you could put it on the side of the bed. And while they're sleeping is also very great. Very, very gentle though. Okay. So in Qigong, you would do tapping down the body. So you could tap from the top of the body all the way to the feet. You could go down the arms. They do that to raise the chi and get that up. We have talked about it as from the shoulder to the palm, all the way down. So those people recovering from COVID, I understand that the fluids in the lungs, it's like a mucus that we've never seen, and it actually tears the lung tissue. So this could be very helpful for letting the villi that is healthy or has space from the mucus to be able to recover. And the other 2 points we have for lung are here. If you think of your hands going across from the top, your thumb is in one location and your pinky in the other. If you rub those points, that's the alarm point for lung. They may be very, very tender, but they will soften up. If they're too tender to rub, you can just put your fingers into a cone like we do on whip to one side and just hold that spot. And that will also release any energy that's just blocked in there that causes that soreness. So that could be another great way to help out with lungs. And again, if you have somebody that's been coughing a lot, this can be very helpful to just very gently massage there or feather over top of it. And just, you may not be able to touch it, so just very gently feather over the another way that you could do it. Okay, so that gets us to there. Let's get to some dawn use, because I talked about leg strength. So when people are trying to keep their energy up or recover and try to rebuild, seated dawn use are the best tools possible. Of all the things I learned over all the years, this is it. And the seated to standing version is my favorite, but if you can't stand up, stay seated. That is not a deficit. Stay seated, you've got lots of things happening. So let's go through this. We talked about the layers before. The hands go up with the palms up. Turn the hands over and let them sink back. You'll notice you can go from your sit bone, which will take you up through the top of your head, and when the hands turn over, you notice how the hip changes, goes back towards the tailbone. So we talked about that already with just turning the hands, but now we added the movement of the arms. And this actually moves all the fascia within the core of the body and ignites all of the communication between the organ systems so they can start to work together to help each other. And a lot of times people don't think that's important, but when they have faster communication, you have greater recovery. Okay, so if someone was just recovering and they were maybe still in bed, this might be enough, and they do maybe 5 and they could be tired. That's great. At least they got everything activated. Okay, but perhaps they can sit on the side of the bed and they can do a little bit more. And the bed being, their hips are going to be parallel with their knees. If the bed is raised up and it's an incline, that would be a good position. A chair would be better. Okay, so now here you go. You're going to fall into your feet and then push into the feet. It changes your spine. So just let that help you. Push into your feet. For those people who are trying to recover strength, this is whole body movement. This is going to engage everything in the body. It's like a full body workout. Doesn't look like very much. That's what I love about it. Okay. I was trying to do some fitness testing yesterday to see how I would rate. And it was really quite funny. There are some things I can't do with my shoulder, but there are some things I haven't done a sit-up in like forever. And I had to do leg lifts with straight legs, 20 of them. And I did it no problem, which was absolutely amazing. And I have a tiny little bit of stiffness today, but hardly anything. And even it's disappeared as the days progress. So I thought that was pretty good. And we had to chuckle to do all of those pieces. Okay, so there's seated Danu. Okay, now how much you activate the foot? You don't have to push hard into the floor. It's very light. It's just bring awareness into the feet, and it automatically pushes you back up. Doesn't require push hard effort. It's just activate the whole body movement. So let's go to seated to standing. So you have the first one. I slid my feet slightly back. I didn't say anything. My ankles are now just a little bit behind my knees so I can actually get up. So I'm going to fall forward into my feet. Feel that length in my spine just from moving forward. Just feeling the length there. Second one, you're going to balance on your feet and then sit back. And then the third one, pull up out of your feet and then sit back down. Okay, so depending on where recovery is at, all the way up might not be possible. Balancing on the feet could be hard. Even just stop there, that's fine. You could do one regular seated and one balance on your feet. That's good. Your strength is going to come back. You don't need to do a lot, maybe 5. That's it. Okay, but let's put in the meridian sweep because we all know how valuable that one is to open up all the energy lines. This is my ultimate tool for those people coming back and recovering, because then you know every system is engaged because you brought knowledge or awareness to it. So you have central system comes up the front of the body, you go down the center, up the back, over the top. You can look in the mirror if you like and say, I am energized and full of vitality. That might be important. Comes up the front, sinks, goes down, comes up the back, over the top. You could look in the mirror this time and you say, I am a winner, I am strong. That might be another tool that you want to put in there Intention is very powerful, especially when you are tracing meridians. Comes through, this will be the third round. I love you. Looking in the mirror and being in love with everything about you. Okay, let's put our Danyu in. So we have forward, balance on your feet, and then coming up. And for those people who've been doing Tai Chi for a long time and you know this exercise, I just want you to reiterate that Danyu should be in your activities every day. Oh, that feels so much better than that practice run. Central and governing, I think, needed a little boost. Feels wonderful. So if you haven't been doing Danyus every day, it's a great exercise. So circle your face for stomach, down the front. Spleen comes up to the armpits, down to the side. Okay. Hands. We have palm is down. Hand goes underneath that palm, over the top. This is going to be in front of the ear. Underneath the arm, over the top, in front of the ear. Okay, so that is heart and small intestine. And we go back to our Danyus, building our strength, opening the flow, and then sink. And second round. And number 3. Okay, here's number 3. This one I always lose track of how many we've done because I just really get into such a rhythm and lose total track. Okay, bladder, from the center of the eyebrows, down the back, all the way down the spine, down behind the legs, underneath the feet, comes back in, up to collarbone. Palm goes down, underneath. So that was bladder kidney. This is circulation. Triple warmer is your ring finger. Comes to the corner of your eyebrow. Got lots of zapping going on in my fingertips. Coming around. Corner of the eyebrow. Okay, so we got our Danyu in again. And then balance. If you do this little exercise all together, you end up doing more Danyus, little breaks in between. So where you might have run out of energy and not had enough strength, this might just be enough to give you the opportunity to do a few extra. But again, less is more. And if you're recovering or you've been injured, remember, you are to only go to 40% effort. If you go over 40% effort, your body is going to go into survival mode and it's going to tighten up. And you're not going to be able to help with the recovery of your health. You're actually going to hinder it. So only 40% effort. So if I was going right now, that for me was fairly easy to do, but if I went to 40% effort, it might have been this much. And it doesn't mean I'm doing anything less. All I need is for the flow to happen. That's it. Everything was engaged whole body-wise. And I have actually everything zapping. So please, only 40% effort. Don't think you have to work harder to get better. Be relaxed. Don't stress your body out. Don't put yourself into a place where it has to tense up to protect you. You want it to just be so calm, it just flows. Okay, so let's go to gallbladder. So at your cheek, in front of the ear, over the ear, down the side of the head, down the side of the body, out the toes, comes back in, the liver, comes by the ribs, and into the front. Hand is going to go out, underneath, over the top, and across to the opposite nostril, underneath, over the top, opposite nostril. I get to feel all the hairs rise on my arms with that one. Okay, so here we go. So 40% effort. I'm going to just slow down because you may find this is important for you if you're in recovery. Sink. I know when we talked about 70% effort, if you are a normal person, not having to recover from anything, I'm just going to do one more set here. 70% effort is even really tough because we were trained that you should, go out there and exert that energy. That's how you get fit. But what we're talking about here is health recovery and wellness and how you get the flow of energy to create that possibility for you. So you're at the very best flow possible. Tension stops the flow. You want everything to be open. Okay, did I say it enough? Okay, so we got all the way through that part. All right, so we've done feet. We've used the hands as substitutes. We did the foundation exercise here. We've gone through the Donyus. We've gone through the arms. I've done everything seated. So if you want to stay seated, you can. I'm just going to stand up because then I'm going to take us to a couple more foundations. Okay, so your toes are straight forward. This one is to open the gate between the shoulder blades, the second gate. And this one isn't about stretching, so I'm not trying to go stretch, stretch, stretch. This is about actually getting flow coming through the chest. And it's very, very gentle. And it's just a little tiny scoop. If you want to think about the Dantian being the golden pill, building energy, your hands are making a circle around that golden pill, and you're making it bigger. And that's what you want, because you want to store the energy so you have it when you need it, and you're not going to expend it all so you're exhausted. You're just going to feel really good when you're done. Okay, so that would be that foundation exercise, just to give you something extra. Okay, so let's move over to the spine, because this is a great place for us to make a lot of changes. The spine, we have a lot of places where we have spine rotation. White stork spreads wings is a good one. And we played the last couple of days, I think 2 or 3 days back, we played with tiny rotations that happen in the movements. And all we need on our spine is for the tissue to just start into that spiral, and then the tendon is engaged. And that's the key piece, because that's where the emotions can get blocked down the spine, and we can just let everything kind of fall away. So the exercise we have in foundations is where one hand comes up, like this exercise, just by the ear, and the other hand is just going to wade through the water, very gentle. And I like to think of this as if I was standing in the ocean or standing in the lake, just very calmly pushing the water away. Your feet shoulder width apart, toes forward, and it's the tiniest little opening of the spine. We don't move very far. You'll notice my arms aren't going to cross in front of my body. I'm going to exaggerate it like this. That's what a lot of people do. They'll go like this and like this. But what we want to do is turn all the vertebrae in the spine and then turn to bring them back. Okay, so it's a very small movement through the spine. The hips stay where they are. And all you want to do is engage each vertebra so that the tendons just get a chance to have a little tiny tug, not a big one. And because you're calm and relaxed and deep breathing, if there's any tension there, you'll be able to let go. And again, the meditation that I'm going to post up today or tomorrow on my Dance Debut blog page will be how to use the emotions in the spine and release. And it was set up for COVID-19, but you can substitute in anything you like. Okay, nice and gentle. So I'm seeing the viewing stutter, so I hope you've got all my explanations in there. I apologize for talking too much today. I'm so excited about my friend's recovery, and I want to make sure that anybody else out there that needs this information has it, or anybody who has information can share it with somebody else. That would be really important. Okay, so very gentle. All right, so that would be one way to activate the spine. If you're seated, you can do the same one. But we've also done it, I talked the other day about a balloon with a knot at the bottom, where you tie the knot, holding the balloon in your hand, And you're just going till the hand is over top of the leg, and then you go the other side. And in this case, your arms, if you leave them by your side, turn this, if you leave them by your side, you're not going to be activating the shoulder blades. If you pull it out a little bit, you activate kind of the top here, but you want to pull it out a little bit further so your hands are in front of your knee. And then when you push in your right foot, your spine will allow you to turn towards the left knee. And then if you push into the left knee, or left foot, it'll be a spine rotation that's going to go back to the right. So you have a push in the right, takes you across, push in the left, takes you back. You could put a spoon, a wooden spoon between your hands, just position it in there. We call it Tai Chi ruler, if we're using that. Hello, Hunter. You coming through? There we go. So that just gives you another way that you could do the spine there. But let's go to grass bird's tail because that's a really good spot. So this one, I'm just going to position myself kind of on the angle for you. My left foot is going to go 45 and my right foot is going to go straight. I'm not taking a big step. There. I'm going to sink back onto my left leg, place the right foot, and then we talked about the two positions you can put your fingers. And again, for recovery, this is important. Your fingertips can go into your wrist, if you wish, and that would turn and then pull back. That is to calm emotion. So that's there. But then you could also go into the palm of the hand, and that could calm the mind. So I used that today because I had all kinds of thoughts racing through, and immediately, as soon as I did that, it was like all of that disappeared. Okay, so I've got my left toe to the corner, the other foot straight forward, and I'm going to go into my wrist, turn the palm, bow and arrow back, sink. Palm to palm is going to go forward, and you can touch or leave it apart. So you can have a space there and feel the energy between the hands, or you can put the hands together and express out. Open and sink. Now it doesn't seem like you're doing very much. Sink back. And this is going to come around. The right toe is going to turn whip to one side. This is going to come up. And this is going to come out. Doesn't seem like you're doing very much in your back, but you are massaging very gently, little tiny micro movements back and forth. It's beautiful. Okay, so let's do it again. So we have, this time I'll put it into my palm. Into the palm. Hello, Hunter. Sink back. Palm to palm. Yeah, you should move forward. He's plunking down on the floor out of camera range. Sink, comes back. Turn the toe, comes all the way around. Let that come all the way out, and then reach. Okay, so that's going to give you that little bit. Let's try step up to raise hands. So I'll turn a little bit. My right hand is going to go out. My left foot is 45. I'm going to do that for you. Left foot's 45. Step up to raise hands would be here. We've done a lot of that over the last few weeks. Drop the tailbone, drop the foot, drop the hand, and then this is going to come through, push. Plant the foot, right hand goes up to the top. Hello, buddy. All the way down, and all of that is massaging all the way along the spine. Step with your foot and brush knee. Hello. Knee. You tell everybody you're in the camera. Look at that, they can all see you. Big whoop. Okay, so let's do one more time. So we have step up to raise hands, sink and drop the spine, plant your foot down, right hand, that's going to push out, plant the foot, and now you go up the right leg. There's a spiral that goes up the whole body, up, through the shoulders, through the neck, through the arm. Everything unwinds back down. And then when you step to do the toyu, everything winds again and lengthens. That's another place that you can put it in there. Okay. I talked a lot today. I shared a lot with you. I was thinking of this that I did a couple days ago, which is another good one for recovery. You can do from bed, and also with the fingertips once you're relaxed and you're deep breathing. If you're not deep breathing, don't do this. Just keep your hands flat. Okay, so that will give us another one. All right, I hope I gave enough tips for those people who need help with recovery, balancing and finding strength. And if this video is of value to anybody you know in your circle of people, please have them pass it forward. If you're passing on Facebook, you can pass by sharing. But if not, you can go to my website, dancedebut.com, and in the blog post every day, I post the video. I also put some extra conversation bits, a photograph of something different, and you may just want to check that out too. So I thank you for hanging in there. I see I've talked an awful lot. Everybody, I appreciate you being here. Please be well, and please help those who need the help to be well, to be there. Bye.